We live. Play a song before we start. Play a little song real quick before we start.
Grab your swords and take your sides. We're at war with Satan's lies. As the rainbow forms in the sky, remember its promise, it's not pride. Remember its promise, it's not pride.
Who ready for the war? Let's see. Who's scared to lose it all? Not me. I've been banned, persecuted. Nail path ain't for the weak. They gon' tell me ain't for the peace, but you'll be in the lake with the beast. If you don't change from the sinning, cause Yeshua came for the vision, so let your old man be deceased. All these pastors lying, saying you can be gay, but still tie the guy like, boy, you gon' be fine. That's 1 John 3, verses 4 through 10. Amen, let his word guide him. Elijah thought he was alone till God showed him the remnant rising. And we living in the new side of all these rappers and dresses. Men saying they can be women, they all in delusion. They letting gay people adopt children. We know who the author of confusion, Satan. I'ma tell the truth now, no waiting. If God call us sin or debate, these other boys scared they faking. When judgment come, can't save them. We ain't Christian but living pagan. We living in a wicked nation. You treat the wicked with indignation and make the mountains a desolation. Oh, righteous God, I praise him. That's a just God, I thank him. Say
Grab your swords and take your sides. We're at war with Satan's lies. As the rainbow forms in the sky, remember its promise, it's not pride.
Yeah, you can never take my rainbow. You can never break my halo. Coming back with the fire, you don't wanna be a liar. I just make sure them they know. This promise not pride. I
Sure they them know.
When I die, the day that I go, I'll be all in the sky. But you will not be there, cause you all denied. Look, you're a girl, not a guy. You cut it all up and you try to disguise. Why you so empty, no God in your eyes? You filled with the devil, no God in your life. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I will not sugarcoat, can't even try. When you come back and you crack in the sky, then you will know that it's promise, not pride.
Who's gonna tell the nation now? As so many let their oil run out. Grab your swords and take your side. We're at war with Satan's lies. As the rainbow forms in the sky, remember its promise, it's not pride. Remember its promise, it's not
I like that. I like that, Bryson. I like that. All right. What's going on today? Hola, Rome. Let's get into this. We're a little early. That means we can wrap it up early. Let's get into this. What are we on? We're on 1 Kings. Take the headset off. We're in 1 Kings chapter 10. King Solomon, he's building his kingdom. He's gathering his wealth and his riches. And now enters Queen Sheba. Dun, dun, dun. And as usual, we will see the man's weakness. Chapter 10. And when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold and precious stones, And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit I believed not the words until I came, and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told to me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. Happy are thy men, happy are those thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighteth in thee, to set thee on the thrones of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever, therefore made he thee king, to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. And the navy also of Hiram, that brought gold from Ophir, brought in from Ophir great plenty of almug trees and precious stones. And the king made of the almug trees pillars for the house of the Lord, and for the king's house, harps also, and psalteries for singers. There came no such almug trees, nor were seen unto this day. And King Solomon gave unto the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, beside that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, she and her servants. Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 636 talents of gold. Beside that, he had of the merchant 636 talents. 603,006. 603 score. Score is 20. 603 score. 666. Three score and six. 666 talents of gold. That's how much Solomon made every year. Coincidence? Possibly. Where's the gematria guys at? 603 score and six. So that's 666 talons, or 666. 666,000. I think it's 660,006. Yeah, that's how much he made a year. Besides that, he had of the merchantmen and of the traffic. What's the traffic? Traffic. And of the traffic of the spice merchants, and of all the kings of Arabia, and of the governors of the country. And King Solomon made 200 targets of beaten gold. 600 shekels of gold went to one target, and he made 300 shields of beaten gold. 3 pounds of gold went to one shield, and the king put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon. Moreover, the king made a great throne. Gold is not a good idea for a shield. It's very malleable. It's not the most dense metal. Moreover, the king made a great throne of ivory and overlaid it with the best gold. The throne had 6 steps, and the top of the throne was round behind, and there were stays on either side of the place of the seat, and 2 lions stood beside the stays. And 12 lions stood there on the one side, and on the other, upon the 6 steps, there was not the like made in any kingdom. And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon. For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and peacocks. So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. And all the earth sought to Solomon to hear his wisdom, which God had put in his heart. And they brought every man his present, vessels of silver and vessels of gold, and garments and armor and spices, horses and mules, a rate year by year. And Solomon gathered together chariots and horsemen, and he had 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horsemen, whom he bestowed in the cities for chariots and with the king at Jerusalem. And the king made silver to be in Jerusalem as stones, and cedars made he to be as the sycamore trees that are in the vale for abundance. And Solomon had horses brought out of Egypt, and linen yarn, and the king's merchants received the linen yarn at a price. And a chariot came up and went out of Egypt for 600 shekels of silver, and an horse for 150. And so for all the kings of the Hittites and for the kings of Syria did they bring them out by their means. So that's Solomon's riches. The Queen of Sheba has been introduced, but he hasn't started catching feelings just yet. There's still time. Chapter 11. These are long chapters. I think we're only going to be doing 4. Chapter 11. But King Solomon, here we go. Here's the problem. Hold on one second. Oh, here we go. Solomon likes some exotic. He likes the ethnic ladies. One second. One moment. All right. Now we're going to get into Solomon's weakness. Chapter 11. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. Remember, all these are people that also got wiped out by Israel multiple times. Now he's sleeping with them. You know what happened last time somebody was sleeping with an Amorite woman? Old Phineas had to stab a javelin through that. Stabbing a javelin straight through a guy while he's scrabbling, rabbling, traveling when I'm stabbing a javelin. Exotic womans, yeah. The last guy that slept with an exotic woman got javelined. Granted, he was sleeping with an Amorite whore. Solomon is sleeping with queens. We was queens from Egypt and Ish. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. Remember when God warned about not getting with strange women who worship different gods? Because you'll end up clinging to their gods. It's almost like God knew that this was going to happen. And then it happens. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. That's important. His wives turned away his heart. Just like the story of Adam and Eve. And the man makes the woman his god. The woman makes Satan her god. Essentially, you've flipped the order of God on its head. This is what feminism is also, by the way. The order of God, the hierarchy, the patriarchy laid out by God is God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, and woman over children. Not Satan over woman, woman over man, man maybe over the children if the woman doesn't decide to kill the children in the womb. This is the order of Satan. This is what happens when you flip the order on its head. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, because he's chasing after these women's gods. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Amorites. You following Milcom? The abomination? Solomon, come on now. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. Simpleman, Solomon. Dang, Solomon, really? You making Chemosh and Molech altars? You making an altar to Molech? You passing children through the fire too, Solomon? I know you cut them in half real quick. You passing them through the fire, Solomon? That's what I would want to ask. Because that was egregious. That was egregious. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods. But he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Notice the word commanded, not requested. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done to thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. The Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon. So God made Solomon's enemy rise up against him. For it came to pass, when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom, for 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. That Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him, to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. And they arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him an house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Taphanes the queen. And the sister of Taphanes bare him Genubath his son, whom Taphanes weaned in Pharaoh's house. And Genubath was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, hold on a second. Wait a second. What does that mean? Oh, that he's dead. I'm sorry. Whoa, sorry. My mind went too much pride stuff. Too much pride stuff lately. When I read Hadad knew that David slept with his fathers, I was like, whoa. What's going on here? What does this mean? It means he's dead. That's what it means. I forgot. Old Testament stuff. Slipped my mind. I gotta have my mind in the gutter there for a second. David sleeps with his fathers means David is dead. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the captain of the host, was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I may go to mine own country. Yep, God raises evil men. Yep. liked and subscribed on all. Have a good screen. Buenos días, señores. Adios, amigos. Buenos días. Why are you speaking? Ice! Somebody call Ice. Get him out of here. Then Pharaoh said unto him, But what hast thou lacked with me, that behold, thou seekest to go to thine own country? And he answered, Nothing, howbeit let me go in anywise. And God stirred him up another adversary, Rezon, the son of Eliadah, which fled from his lord Hadad-ezer, king of Zobah. And he gathered men unto him, and became captain over a band. When David slew them of Zobah, then they went to Damascus, and dwelt therein, and reigned in Damascus. And he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did, and he abhorred Israel, and reigned over Syria. And Jeroboam the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite of Zeribah, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king. And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king Solomon, built Milo, and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. And it came to pass at that time, when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet of Ahijah, the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him, and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, Take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. But he shall have 1 tribe for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel. Because that they have forsaken me, and have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which is right in mine eyes, and keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father. Howbeit I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David my servant's sake, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and my statutes. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. And unto his son will I give 1 tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And I will take thee. That's an interesting one. I have chosen me to put my name there. That's a good Trinity support verse. God is saying he's chosen Jerusalem to put his name there. And Jesus, that's where. That's a good one. And it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and wilt walk in my ways, and do that which is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto thee. And I will, for this, afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt, unto Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. And the rest of the acts of Solomon, and all that he did, and his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon? And the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers, and was buried in the city of David his father, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead, over 1 kingdom. So he lost the 12 tribes, and now his son is left with 1 tribe, because he was following a bunch of spicy women. Some dang Jezebels. I'll be right back anymore. Where's James at? Somebody need to talk to that boy. If James want to be a dang messianic Old Testament Christian, somebody better tell that boy he better not be looking for no Latinas. That ain't biblical. Can't be dipping around. Can't be dipping. Can't be dipping into other flavors. What the? All right. Where are we at? I think we're on chapter 12. Solomon's dead. The death of Solomon. So pretty much the fall of Solomon is just summed up in those two chapters. Mostly chapter 11. Little bit of chapter 10 because you see the introduction of Queen Sheba and how he's flexing for her. He's flexing. James is Orthodox now? When that happened? He changes his mind every week. Once he finds out about that he's not allowed to get with Latina ladies, yeah, he's gonna convert real quick. That's true. He's flexing for Sheba, the queen of Sheba. I keep calling her Queen Sheba, but she's the queen of Sheba. But he's flexing for her. He's showing off. He's stunting. Thought he was on an episode of Pimp My Ride. He's like, let me show you the bedroom where the magic happens. This ain't dang Cribs. This ain't MTV Cribs. Solomon, calm down. Why are you flexing for Queen Sheba and then giving her gifts? She's the enemy. But he simped for the Queen of Sheba. And then he's like, dang, it was that easy to pull a queen? All I got to do is show off my fancy stuff. And so he started inviting all the princesses and all the queens and all the fair ladies of the land and all the concubines. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines. He had 1,000 women. Just a Holodex flipping through the dang Chictionary, you know? Calling up all of them. He got a stable, a cycle, a rotation coming through the palace. But then, you know, they all kept saying, well, you got to prove that you love me the most, Solomon, or I'm leaving. There's a lot of ladies here. You got to prove you love me the most. Why don't you build me an altar on that hill over there, that high place? Why don't you build me a tower to Ashtoreth or Moloch or Milon or Cheramesh? What's the other dude's name? I don't know. Some fake god. Build me a dang Cheramesh altar. I'm trying to pass a child through the fire of Moloch, and I can't do that in Israel, Solomon. So if you love me, build me an altar. And Solomon was simping, and he fell for it. Yeah, I think he changed his mind from that more recently. We've talked to him more recently than that, and he's not. He's not doing that no more. All right. So Solomon's dead. Chapter 12. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of the king of Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put on us, lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said to them, Depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people? And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye, that we may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? So they're saying your dad left us with a little bit of a burden. You're going to need to make that right, or else we're not going to be good citizens in your kingdom, king. So he asked the old people that used to be around Solomon, what do you guys recommend that I do? And they say, treat them right and they will serve you. Be a good king and they'll serve you. Now he's going to ask the young men, the new boys, what they think they should do. And I have a feeling that they're going to be a little more aggressive. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thou shalt not speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. My little finger will be thicker than my father's loins, which is like his legs. So he's going to be strong. They're saying, be strong. Strength through power. And now, whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father has chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, Come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. But as for the children of Israel which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with the stones that he died. So he sent Adoram, and Israel stoned him. Was he like a messenger? That he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. So Rehoboam is just over the tribe of Judah. He's been basically chased out of Israel. They don't want him there. He's a real jerk. And Rehoboam is Solomon's son that gets the one tribe. Jeroboam is going to get all the rest of the tribes. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. For every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the word of the Lord, and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence, and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again. to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethuel, and the other put he in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. Well, yeah, it's a sin. He's making golden cows. And he made a house of high places and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. Hold on one second. 1 Kings chapter 12. I want to read a summary of that, because that was a little convoluted. I understand Jeroboam's bad, Rehoboam's bad, but he is the son of Solomon. Jeroboam's also bad. He makes these golden cows. First King 12 narrates the division of the kingdom of Israel following King Solomon's death. Rehoboam, Solomon's son, is enthroned, but the 10 northern tribes rebel against him due to his harsh rule and rejection of their request to ease the burden of their father's taxes and forced labor. Rehoboam, seeking advice from his younger advisors, chooses to disregard the elders' counsel and respond harshly, leading to the separation of the kingdom. The 10 northern tribes establish their own kingdom with Jeroboam as king, and Rehoboam attempts to regain control by force, but is instructed to turn back by a prophet. Jeroboam, in turn, establishes a separate religious system with golden calves, further solidifying the divide. Okay, so I followed it. All right, chapter 13. Jeroboam is warned. So I guess we're done with Solomon. How many? 22 chapters in 1 Kings. $25 in 2 Kings. Okay. All right. So he's got calves that they're worshiping. This Jeroboam guy. The kingdom is divided. Israel is divided between Jeroboam and Rehoboam, son of Solomon. All right. Let's continue. Chapter 13. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, Behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. Is this a prophecy of Jesus? And he gave a sign the same day, saying, This is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. And it came to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, Lay hold on him. And his hand, which he put forth against him, dried up, so that he could not pull it again to him. So he reached his hand out, said, Take him, and his hand shriveled up. Now he's got a strong arm. This is where we see the T-Rex strong arm originates. The altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord. And the king answered and said unto the man, hold on one second. And the king answered and said unto the man of God, Entreat now the face of the Lord thy God, and pray for me that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand was restored him again, and it became as it was before. And the king said unto the man of God, Come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of God said unto the king, If thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee. If thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee. Neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. He said, I don't care if you give me half your kingdom. I'm not going back to your house. I ain't even drinking your food, eating your food, or drinking your water. You're crazy, king. Worshipping golden cows. You know you can't be doing that. I ain't trying to drink at your house. For so was it charged me by the word of the Lord, saying, Eat no bread, nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way that thou camest. So he went another way, and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel. And the words which he had spoken unto the king, then they told also to their father. And their father said unto them, What way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of God went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his son, Saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon. And he went after the man of God, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, Art thou the man of God that camest from Judah? And he said, I am. Then he said unto him, Come home with me, and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said to me by the word of the Lord, Thou shalt eat no bread nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou camest. So once I'm past, I'm not going back. I ain't going back to your house. I already told the king. He said unto him, I am a prophet, also as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So an angel didn't really tell him to say this. He's lying. This prophet should know better. So he went back with him. Well, I guess his prophecies didn't get him out of this quandary that he's about to be in. So he went back with him and did eat bread in his house and drank water. And it came to pass as they sat at the table that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, For as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back, and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place of which the Lord did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. And it came to pass, And it came to pass after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass, to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him. And his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by it, and the lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, It is the man of God who was disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore the Lord hath delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him and slain him according to the word of the Lord, which he spake unto him. And he spake to his son, saying, Saddle me the ass, and they saddled him. And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God, and laid it upon the ass, and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him. And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother. And it came to pass after he had buried him, that he spake to his son, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones. For the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would be would whosoever would he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. So he's making just any old hobo off the roadside a priest now. Jeroboam is. Homeboy, the prophet, tried to warn him, but then he got tricked by another prophet. Went back, got killed by a lion, and his carcass never made it back to his original village. He got buried in a different city. So he never made it to the sepulture of his fathers, which was part of his curse, which was part of his vow that he made. And now Jeroboam is just making every hobo a dang priest. Anybody who would take the job, he'll make him a priest. But I think getting consecrated, well, they're probably already circumcised if they're Israelites, but could mean late-term circumcision, which doesn't sound fun. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth. So Jeroboam's sin, and Jeroboam is running the 10 nations that are not Benjamin and Judah, that Rehoboam is reigning over. And Jeroboam is the one that built these calves. That was a problem. Now he's hiring hobos as priests. Anybody off the street that wants to be a priest, he makes them a priest, consecrates them and makes them a priest. And this is an evil thing. This became a sin, which is worthy of getting him and his whole family line destroyed off the face of the earth. What's up, King? Chapter 14. At that time, Abijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. And Jeroboam said to his wife, Arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, and get thee to Shiloh. Behold, there is Ahijah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people. And take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels and a cruse of honey, and go to him, so he should tell thee what shall become of the child. And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahijah. But Ahijah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age. And the Lord said unto Ahijah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick, thus and thus, for he is sick. Thus and thus shalt thou say unto her, for it shall be, when she cometh in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman. And it was so, when Ahijah heard the sound of her feet as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in, thou wife of Jeroboam. Why feignest thou thyself to be another? For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. Go tell Jeroboam, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, For as much as I exalted thee from among the people, and made thee prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in mine eyes. But hast done evil above all that were before thee, for thou hast gone and made thee other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam as a man taketh away dung, till it be all gone. Dang. Okay, savage. A little savagery here. So, when it says taketh, cut him off from all that pisseth against the wall, it means he'll cut him off from all men, meaning people, but specifically men. The ones who piss against the wall are men. This is a crude Hebrew euphemism that means men. He who pisseth against the wall. And carry them away as a man taketh away dung. Think about what are they doing with their doo-doo back then? They didn't have running water. They had buckets in the house, probably a clay jar. And every now and then you got to carry the dung out to the trash. So he's going to make him like a man that just carries dung all the time. Behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung, till it be all gone. When you're taking away dung, you're like, ew, you just want to get rid of it. He said, I'm going to take him away from all of Israel as a man takes away dung. Dung. That's a curse if I ever heard one. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for the Lord hath spoken it. Arise, him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for the Lord hath spoken it. Arise thou therefore, get thee to thine own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die. His kid's gonna die. And the people of his city are gonna be eaten by dogs. And Israel shall mourn for him and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing toward the Lord God of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Moreover, the Lord shall raise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now. For the Lord shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking the Lord to anger. And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin, and who made Israel to sin. And Jeroboam's wife arose and departed, and came to Tirzah, and when she came to the threshold of the door, the child died. And they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by the hand of the servant Ahijah the prophet. And the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, how he warred and how he reigned, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. We're going to be at Chronicles here pretty soon. In the days which Jeroboam reigned were 22 years, and he slept with his fathers, and Nadab his son reigned in his stead. And Rehoboam the son of Solomon reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamath, an Amorite. Dang, Solomon sleeping with these Amorites. Sleeping around with these strange women. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins, which they had committed above all that their fathers have done. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. And there were also Sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. Sodomites. Happy Pride Month. And it came to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem. And he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all. And he took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made. And King Rehoboam made in their stead brazen shields, and committed them unto the hands of the chief of the guard, which kept the door of the king's house. And it was so, when the king went into the house of the Lord, that the guard bare them and brought them back into the guard chamber. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Amorite, and Abijam, his son, reigned in his stead. Abijam. So he's a prophet and a king now. Loud. All right, we're going to do one more chapter. Get done early today so I can go take a shower and get to sleep early. There any good good movie releases? We might have something big this Saturday night, guys. Might have something big this Saturday night. There's a big fight this weekend on Saturday, but there's also a nationwide No Kings protest. And it's to support what's going on in LA right now. People in major cities all across the country this Saturday night are going to organize. And the protest here in Salt Lake City is starting at 7 p.m. Now, I know about all these protests, and I go to some, and I see them all the time, and I follow them. The heck's No Kings. That's the name of the protest, the No Kings protest. Basically, they're saying Trump is a king. But these protests don't usually start at 7 at night. They start at noon. They start at 10 a.m. The latest they might start is 3 o'clock because they don't want the people marching down the streets during rush hour traffic at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So usually these things are done, wrapped up by 4 or 5. The fact that this one is starting at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night, on Trump's birthday, on Flag Day, while this stuff's going on in LA, during Pride Month, the heat of the summer, Saturday night might get wild. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go live and pound some pavement and just, I don't know, I probably won't bring the Osmo because it's too much to carry. I need to be able to be agile. So we'll just have the phone and the microphone. I'll just pin it to my shirt and go out there and see what goes down this Saturday night because I think it's going to be what's been happening in New York and LA. I think it might be nationwide this weekend, this Saturday. It's Trump's birthday. And he's doing a big ceremony. It's Flag Day. Pride Month. It's summer. It's it might get wild this Saturday night. So I think I'm gonna go down there and check it out. Pride is the devil. Think you got a hold on me. Pride is the devil. All right. That's the plans. Let's get this wrapped up. So hopefully I can play some Wukong tonight before I go to work. All right, one more chapter. Chapter 15. Abijam's wicked reign. Abijam's a bad guy? I thought he was the nice prophet dude. Uh-oh. Now, in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijam over Judah. 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake, did the Lord his God give him a lamp in Jerusalem to set up his son after him, and to establish Jerusalem. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. So that was David's only mistake. He made one mistake. And I'm glad they mentioned that. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life. Now the rest, and isn't it, you notice that it says he did perfect in the eyes of God all the days of his life, save that one time But it still says he had a perfect heart in the eyes of the Lord, even though he made a mistake one time. Almost implies that it's perfect. It's perfectly part of God's plan that we mess up, quote unquote, sometimes, because that mess up is also part of God's plan. When you serve God in his right way along with nothing else, you might do something that seems like a horrible screw up, and God's not happy about it. God's got to punish you about it, but God knew it was going to happen. You know? We talked about the regret God felt when he had to punish Israel a couple times. Parents regret when they have to punish their kids. That doesn't mean that they think they're never going to have to punish their kids. They know they're going to have to punish their kids, and they regret it, but they have to do it. It's not a regret like, man, I shouldn't have done that. It's more of a regret like, man, I wish I didn't have to do that, but I know I have to do that. But David's heart was perfect, even though he screwed up. That screw up wasn't even a screw up. It was part of the plan. It was a perfect part of the plan. It was also prophesied way before it ever happened. Good eye, Abe Dankus. Abe Lincoln. Okay. And there was a war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life. Now the rest of the acts of Abijam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? Dude, why do you keep telling me all this stuff is written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah if we haven't even got to the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah yet? We're going to get to the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah in like 3 more chapters. Stop foreshadowing, Bible. I'm just kidding. They keep mentioning the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah. We're not there yet. You're giving spoiler alert. Now, the rest of the acts of Abijam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And there was war between Abijam and Jeroboam, and Abijam slept with his fathers. Again, that's not a Pride Month thing. That means he died. And they buried him in the city of David, and Asa his son reigned in his stead. And in the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. And Asa did that was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did David his father. We finally got a good one. We finally got a decent king. Okay, good job, Asa. And he took away the Sodomites out of the land and removed all the idols that his fathers had made. Let's go, Asa. Shout outs, Asa. You should call him awesome. This guy's based. And also, Maacah, his mother, even her he removed from being queen because she had made an idol in a grove. Dang, savage. Boy, took his mom off the throne. Yo, this is Game of Thrones for real. He said, Mama Dukes, I'm king now. You know that idol you built out in the garden? Guess what? You're cut off. You're not queen anymore. You're a peasant. You're an idol worshiper. This guy's based. He removed her from being queen because she had made an idol in a grove, and Asa destroyed her idol and burnt it by the brook in Kidron. Let's go, Asa. He got rid of all the Sodomites. He freaking burnt his mama's idol and took her crown from her. This guy's based. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was perfect with the Lord all his days. Look at this. Look at all these men who are kings whose hearts are perfect in the eyes of the Lord, as are they commanded to be. All of us are commanded to be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect. Perfect in the eyes of the Lord. Our hearts should be perfect. And this was doable in the Old Testament. Do you get that part? A lot of people might not catch that. People will say, nobody's perfect. Nobody could be perfect. Now, after Jesus, post-Christ, people still say that Christians can't be perfect. multiple people were perfect pre-Christ. It's not impossible to be perfect in the eyes of the Lord. I don't even think it's as rare as some people think. I think maybe as who was it that said in all my days of seeking and not finding, I found one righteous man among 1,000 and no righteous women among them all. So the ratio is 0.1% of men are perfect. You can find there's perfect men out there. It's not impossible. It's a commandment, something we're commanded to be. It's not a request. It's not a trick. It's not a mean trick that Jesus plays on us when he commands us to be perfect. It's not when the Old Testament repeatedly commands you to have a heart perfect in the eyes of the Lord, repeatedly. It's not a mean trick that God's playing on you. There are examples of them in the Old and the New Testament. I think we have examples of them in the world today. Maybe I couldn't name one for you. Hake from the Hake Report. If there's a perfect guy out there, it's Hake. Maybe James. It's got to be a virgin. Because you know how these ladies be doing with the men, as we've seen with Solomon, Samson, and Adam. But you could find a 40-year-old virgin out there that's a perfect man. 1 in 1,000. They're out there. Stop saying nobody's perfect. It's a lie. Okay. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, so he didn't even get rid of all the idols that were left over from all these past garbage kings. Solomon's altars, Jeroboam's altars, Rehoboam's altars, Ahijah's altars. He didn't get rid of all of them. But his heart was still perfect in the eyes of the Lord. He got rid of a lot of them, but he didn't get rid of all of them. I mean, maybe he just didn't have enough time. Maybe he didn't feel like, maybe some of them were far away and he just didn't care about it. He didn't think it was a priority. But for some reason, he did not tear down all of the altars on the high places. He didn't get to all of them, but his heart was still perfect in the eyes of the Lord. And he brought in the things which his father had dedicated and the things which himself had dedicated into the house of the Lord, silver and gold and vessels. And there was a war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. And Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah and built Ramah, that he might not suffer any to go out or come in to Asa, king of Judah. Then Asa took all the silver and the gold that were left in the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house, and delivered them into the hand of his servants. And King Asa sent them to Benhadad, the son of Tamrimon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, that dwelt in Damascus, saying, There is a league between me and thee, and between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent unto thee a present of silver and gold. Come and break thy league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So he's basically asking another king for some help to get rid of Baasha. And he's saying, take all the gold and silver we got left. We've been through a rough period here. We're skimping on the gold and the silver in the Lord's house, but here's everything we got. Help us break this league that is formed against us. So Ben-Hadad hearkened unto King Asa, and sent the captains of the hosts which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan, and Abel Beth-Maacah, and all Sinneroth, with all the land of Naphtali. And it came to pass, when Baasha heard thereof, that he left off building of Ramah, and dwelt in Tirzah. Then King Asa made a proclamation throughout all Judah. None was exempted. And they took away the stones of Ramah and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha had builded. And King Asa built with them Geba of Benjamin and Mizpah. So he got the king to run away. And then he took all the stuff that he was building this temple or something with, and he made 2 other cities with it. The rest of all the acts of Asa and all his might and all that he did and the cities which he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Nevertheless, in the time of his old age, he was diseased in his feet. And Asa slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Jehoshaphat his son reigned in his stead. Jehoshaphat stepping in. And Nadab, the son of Jeroboam, began to reign over Israel in the 2nd year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned over Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in his sin wherewith he made Israel to sin. And Baasha, the son of Ahijah, of the house of Issachar, conspired against him, and Baasha smote him at Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines, for Nadab and all Israel laid siege to Gibbethon. Even in the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, did Baasha slay him and reigned in his stead. So Baasha killed Asa? Baasha killed Asa? Dang it, that's no good. And it came to pass when he reigned that he smote all the house of Jeroboam. He left not to Jeroboam any that breathed, until he had destroyed him, according unto the saying of the Lord, which he spake by his servant Ahijah to the Shilonite. Because of the sins of Jeroboam, which he sinned, and which he made Israel sin, by his provocation wherewith he provoked the Lord God of Israel to anger. Now the rest of the acts of Nadab and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Israel? Oh, the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah and book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Is that 1 and 2 Chronicles? And there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. In the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, began Baasha, the son of Ahijah, to reign over all Israel in Tirzah 24 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin, wherewith he made Israel to sin. So we're just cycling through these kings. Good ones, bad ones, mediocre ones, really bad ones, decent ones. Asa was only king for 3 years, but he was a good king. I guess some would argue this he didn't have time to become corrupt, maybe. So is one of the books of Chronicles the kings of Israel? The first book of Chronicles. There's 2 books of Chronicles. Is one the kings of Judah and one is the king of Israel? Looks like Chronicles 1 is just redoing the David story. Or First Chronicles. Yeah, it seems like First Chronicles and Second Chronicles are just retellings of the 4 books of Kings. Because Chronicles 1 is David and Solomon, and Chronicles 2 is more about Solomon and Asa and Abijah. So basically, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings all just gets recapped in 1st and 2nd Chronicles. So that's going to be... We're going to have to go through all these again. That's fine. They're important stories. And then we get some prophets. We get Ezra and Nehemiah. Nehemiah is about interracial relations. That's a fun one. We did a show on that a while ago. Then we got Job. We got Esther. Can't forget about Esther. Job, Psalms, Proverbs. And then we get the big prophets, Isaiah and Jeremiah. And then the minor prophets, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and the last book, Malachi. But once we get through Malachi, before we go to the New Testament, I'm going to have to... I guess I'm going to have to read it on the internet because I don't own an Orthodox Bible or an Ethiopian Bible. I'm just going to find whichever one has the most books. I think we looked at this before. I think the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible has 88 books, and it's the most. And so we're going to have to, once we finish the Old Testament in here, Malachi. We're going to have to go through and read all those apocryphal texts. Maccabees and what is it? Benaniah the dragon or whatever. Jude is in this Bible, and that's New Testament. We're going to have to read all the Old Testament apocryphal books too, before we move on to the New Testament. And I think most of them are pretty small, so that shouldn't take too long. Not going to do Enoch because we might, if it's in the, I don't know, it depends on if it's, because there's like 4 books of Enoch, and I know some of them aren't considered canon. We're just going to read whatever the biggest canon is. Read all of them. We've done a thing on Book of Enoch before. We've already listened to all of the Book of Enoch during gaming streams, the audio version of it, years ago. But I haven't read all of it. I've only read book 1, but I've listened to all of it. So I think 1 and 2 is what. Let me see. Ethiopian broader canon potentially has over 90 books, including editions like Enoch, the Jubilees, and other books. Catholic Bible has 73 books. Eastern Orthodox and Oriental Orthodox has 76. The Ethiopian Tewahedo churches have 81 to 90. We might just go with the 76 of the Eastern Orthodox, because that'll get us all the books in the Catholic Bible, all the books in the Orthodox Bible, all the books in the Protestant Bible. And then maybe later we'll look into some of these Ethiopian Tewahedo books, because they got a huge canon. Josephone, Synodos, Books of the Covenant, the Ethiopic Clement, Didascalia. The Ethiopic Didascalia or Didascalia is a book of church order in 43 chapters, distinct from Didascalia Apostolorum, but similar to books 1 through 7 of the Apostolic Constitutions, where it most likely originates. Ethiopian Clement should not be confused with 1 Clement or 2 Clement. Broader canon seems to be created by Ethiopian scholars commenting on the Fetha Negist Law Code, which says that the canon contains 81 books, but only lists 73. The additional 8 books were those presumed to be missing from the list. Right, so books like this, Josephone, one of the most influential medieval chronicles of Jewish history, translated into many languages, Jewish national historiography, history of Roman Empire, Jewish inhabitants. Sirach. Wisdom of Solomon. That's different than Proverbs. So they have Proverbs divided into the Masali and the Tagsas, but that's just Proverbs. So they have Proverbs divided into 2 books. Then they have Wisdom of Solomon. I think I've read that before. The Prayer of Manasseh is in 2 Chronicles. The Jubilees, Enoch. So the Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish apocalyptic religious text ascribed by tradition to the patriarch Enoch. But is it all 4? It just says Enoch. It doesn't say like all of the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch's pretty long. Ezra 1, 2, and 3. We only have one Ezra. Ezra Nehemiah. Oh, because they don't have a Nehemiah. So they're Ezra Nehemiah, originally with the Hebrew title of Ezra, called Esdras B in the Septuagint. The book covers a period of time from the fall of Babylon. First Ezra is also Esdras A. Greek Esdras is the ancient Septuagint version of the biblical book of Ezra, in use with early church and among many modern Christians with varying degrees of canonicity. One Esdras is substantially similar to the standard Hebrew version of Ezra. Ezra Sutiel, fourth Ezra. Huh. Tobit, Judith. I got to read those two. Maybe we'll do them in order. So far, there's been nothing. After we get done with Chronicles, if we go in order, the next book we read should be the Jubilees. Ancient Jewish apocryphal text of 50 chapters considered canonical by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church, as well as by the Hamanot Judaism, and denomination observed by members. The Book of Jubilees. I wonder if that's in Bible Gateway. Book of Jubilees. Didn't find it. Bible book list. Nehemiah, Esther, Job. Old Testament, New Testament. What's the other one? Bible Hub. Bible Hub will have it. I like Bible Hub more than Bible Gateway. Bible Hub will have it. No search results for the Book of Jubilee. Huh. They don't have it. Wonder if I can find it. Preview, 380 pages. 380 pages. Oh, we're going to have to come back to this. Is there somewhere I can read it? Contents, versions, start reading. This is the history of the divisions of the days and the law of the testimony of the events of the years of their year, weeks of their jubilees throughout all the years of the world, as the Lord spake to Moses on Mount Sinai when he went up to receive the tables of the law and of the commandment according to the voice of God, as he said unto him, go up to the top of the mount. So this is, I'm going to save this. I found it where I can read it, but it's kind of long. How long is this? There's 50 chapters. Well, the chapters aren't that long. The Book of Jubilee. Because this is what comes after this is what comes after Chronicles. We got the Talmud in here. Oh, this thing's huge. Oh, Lord. The Talmud is a big one. Anyway, I'm going to head out, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And might see you tonight for a little bit of monkey fighting. Again, the boss that we were trying to fight last time is not the boss we need to be. Oh, wait, no. Did I already kill the one big lion guy? I think I did. So we do need to deal with this boss. But anyway. Thanks, Abe. Who's streaming right now? Grumple Stillskin streaming. All right, let's go say hi to Grump. All right, I'll see you guys later. God bless everybody. Have a good one. We out. Peace. I beat the tiger.